In today's class, we are going to see about mode locking. So, mode locking, which is another pulsing technique. So, using this mode locking, we can able to create an ultrasound wave signal. So, already in the previous class, we have studied about Q switching. Q switching, it is also producing a very short, that is a giant pulse, and this is the another technique, that is due to the broadening nature of the cavity. This will also supporting the oscillations in many modes. So during this, we can able to create a laser transition line width, and not only that, we can able to create a pulses of light of extremely short duration, and the range is about pico to femto, that is 10 power minus 12 seconds to 10 power minus 15 second. And this is also called as an ultrasound short pulses. And mode locking, it's a technique in which a laser can make to produce a pulses of light. So there are two different types of mode locking techniques we have. One is passive and another one is active. So while you are going for this particular mode locking technique, this can be used for chemical reactions as well as any dynamics. So here it is like the relation is phase, the amplitude, phase and frequency of all the modes are like dynamics nature, that is time varying nature, so that the modes are like incoherent, they are not coherent nature. And because of that, the total radiance and intensity, it's all like sum of irradiance of individual modes. So for different phases, we have different pulses. Therefore, the total irradiance is very small. So you'll get like this. This is E1, E2 and E3. So final, when your summation of these pulses, the irradiance will be like this. So if you locking any of the pulses, then what will happen? The modes to maintain the same relative phase to one another. Then only you will get this particular amount is more number. So finally, out of this irradiance, we are having a very short duration of pulses. So this resultant pulses, which consist of a series of narrow intense pulses of time spacing 2L by SE, and the pulse width, I mean like duration is 1 by N into 2L divided by C. So this L, which is nothing but cavity length, C, which is nothing but speed of light. Speed of light is 3 into 10 power 8, and C, which is nothing but speed of light. L is in cavity length, capital N is number of modes, so through which we can able to calculate the pulse width, that is pulse width we used to calculate it eta p. So if you want to calculate eta p, then we have to know the value of del nu, that is del nu, which is nothing but the gap between the modes. So how we can able to get this particular mode locking? So what is the procedure we have to go? So this can be achieved by placing an optic shutter. It should be near the end of the mirror, because we have a two end of the mirror. Between we have a cavity, that is active medium. So the active medium, which one we are going to choose? Either we are going for solid state laser or we are going for gas laser. So particularly in mode locking technique, they used to go for dye laser or solid state laser. And the solid state laser, the example is titanium sapphire. So while you are going for titanium sapphire, we'll get very short pulse duration in very high efficient manner. That is the reason they are using the active medium is titanium sapphire. So using this particular laser, we can able to achieve the very large amount of pulses. So here one more thing we have to look at, the shutter should be open only for every 2L by C second. So if a wave packet consisting of different waves exactly arrive when the shutter is open, all these things will be passed. If any of these things will be like closing of the shutter, it will not be passing across the cavity, so that will be getting eliminated. So the consistency in the phase relationship of the oscillating modes are continuously restored by the periodic opening of the shutter. So depends on the opening and the closing of the shutter, we can able to get the particular pulse. That is what mode locking. Then another pulsing technique, which is nothing but cavity damping. So cavity damping, it's like compared with the Q switching. This is another method for producing a very short pulse duration in the nanosecond or microsecond time. So here also the laser is excited continuously and the resonant cavity has high Q, so the laser light simply remains in the cavity point. So here we have an electro-optic as well as acousto-optic device are periodically switching the pulse out. So here the pulse range is megahertz. So for very high repetition rate, the average power of cavity damping laser are very closer to the continuous power. So the peak power may reach a value higher than the average. So comparing with this Q switching and the mode locking, your cavity damping will allow the pulses at higher pulse repetition rate. So there are three things we have seen so far, that is switching technique, then mode locking as well as cavity damping. So in related to that, how we can able to solve the problem, that is also you are going to see now. So already we have seen what is that mode locking. The main purpose of the mode locking is to generate an ultrasound process. So this ultra short pulse can be made to produce a pulses of light of extremely short duration, like 10 power minus 12 to minus 15. So the main purpose of using this is chemical reaction and the dynamics. So here one more thing is we should know the logic behind the standing wave nature. So standing wave, which is nothing but m lambda, which is equal to 2L. So this is nothing but the order of longitudinal and L is the cavity length. So I am just going to relate this final expression with the frequency, that is eta. Eta, which is nothing but mc dash divided by 2L. C dash is which is nothing but C by N. And the gap between the modes is calculated del nu, that is C by 2L. So C is nothing but 10 power 8 into Hertz. So here you can just look at the mode locking, where we have so many number of intensities, but final averaging out we are going to get a very short, within a cavity only one pulse we used to have. That is what your mode locking concept. So here what we are going to do is, the bandwidth is given, that is 128 teragigahertz and the cavity length is 200 centimeter, and they ask you to find out the pulse width. So how we can, that is what we are going to see now. So first we have to calculate del nu. So del nu is what? C by 2L. So C is 3 into 10 power 8 and the L is 200 centimeter. So you have to convert it into meter. You will get the value of this del nu is 75 into 10 power 6 Hertz. So I am just converting in terms of mega. So it comes around 75. Then again what I am going to do is, I have to calculate the number of modes. So number of modes formula, bandwidth divided by gap between the modes. So bandwidth is 128 and the gap is 75. So the gap is calculated through C by 2L. So after substituting these values, I am getting 1.7 into 10 power 6. So this is the number of modes. So time gap we have to calculate. Time gap is 1 by del nu. Already del nu is calculated. So if you are substituting that, you will get a time gap. Time gap is 13.3 nanosecond. So I am supposed to find out the pulse width of a particular signal. So the pulse width is eta p, which is equal to 1 by n into del nu. So what is n? N, which is nothing but the number of modes. So number of modes is calculated through bandwidth by the gap between the modes. So 1.7 into 10 power 6 into this del nu value already we have calculated that is 1.7 into 10 power 6, from which we have calculated the time. So the time is 13.3 nanosecond. So 13.3 nanosecond into the number of, divided by the number of modes, you will get the value of pulse width. So that is 7.8 into 10 power minus 15 second. So approximately this can be written 8 into 10 power minus 15. That is what I already introduced in the class. Mode locking, it will producing the pulses pico to femto. So here I am getting 10 power minus 15. So this is femto. So during of this particular method, that is mode locking method, I am getting the pulse with this theta p, which is 8 into 10 power minus 15 seconds. So this is how we can able to calculate the pulse width of a particular signal. So this is the another pulsing technique they are used in the laser optics. Thank you.